Hi and welcome, coming to you live from Naples, Florida. So I want to introduce you to Matthew, Martin, and Therese, my lovely wife. She was already seasoning some turkey. Can you imagine that? Well, without further ado, I'm going to get into what I'm passionate about, what I want to teach you about, and what I want you to avoid in life. Okay? Insurance is really important. Automobiles come in all sizes. You have trucks, you have vans, you have minivans, some are bigger, some are smaller. One thing is for sure, in the state of Florida, in order to register your vehicle, you need insurance. Now, what type of insurance should you purchase? I know many of you just got fresh out of high school, probably got your license not too long ago, and perhaps are on your parents' policy, and you don't have to worry about this yet. But listen, you can probably teach your parents a little something about insurance even, because did you know that if you carry the minimum bodily injury on your automobile insurance, meaning bodily injury is a protection and a coverage that's not required by the state of Florida. However, that protection and coverage is what can protect you and your finances in the event that you get into an accident. So, as an example, bodily injury come in intervals of 10-20, meaning 10,000 per person and 20,000 per incident, all the way to 250,500, 250,000 per person, and 500,000 per incident. Most people, when they come to me, I sell insurance for a living, they either do not understand this concept and carry either the minimum that Florida requires, which is 10-20, 10,000 per person, and 20,000 per incident, or they don't have any bodily injury at all, meaning that their insurance is going to be more expensive and they're going to be rated at a higher rate. I like to compare it to going into a dealership to finance an automobile. If you had the choice between a 5% interest rate and a 10% interest rate, which would you choose? Obviously, you would choose 5% because you're going to pay less in interest. Well, in insurance, it's backwards. The least amount that you carry on your bodily injury, the more you are penalized and the higher is your rate, meaning you pay more for your insurance. Now, did you know that the state of Florida actually allows us to only carry what's called PIP? And I know you've heard that Florida's a no-fault state. So those of you that have had an accident before, and in that accident, you were not at fault or were at fault, you remembered that somebody said, either when the accident took place or after or prior, that Florida's a no-fault state, and it brought relief. Like, oh man, it was my fault. I ate that light, but Florida's a no-fault state. Well, what that means is that the personal injury protection covers both parties, no matter who is at fault. So you're going to have $10,000 for each party, PIP, mandatory, in the state of Florida, afforded to you for your protection. In the state of Texas, that's not necessary, but we're not going to talk about the state of Texas, we're talking about Florida. That's what Florida no fault means. $10,000 for each party, personal injury protection. And at that, you don't get the $10,000 entirely. You only get 80%. So, if you don't carry bodily injury and you get into an accident with someone and you don't have that protection, bodily injury now, what's going to happen is if that person's injuries exceed the $10,000 or 80% of the $10,000, their insurance company will pay whatever medical necessities that person may have and other things such as property damage to the vehicle or any property for that matter. But after they pay, they have to recoup their loss. They're going to go after you if you are at fault for the difference. How do I know this? From personal experience. Before I started selling insurance, I got into an accident and I only had the bare minimum, meaning I didn't have any bodily injury and I only had PIP, personal injury protection, $10,000. Florida's a no-fault state. I thought I was okay. Hey, the law allows it, right? Well, guess what? After this accident took place, I came to find out that I was responsible for $8,000 worth of this person's medical expenses. So I got a bill from State Farm. I got a bill from the attorneys. They were contacting me saying they want to meet with me because I need to make arrangements to make these payments. If I had not made arrangements for those payments, guess what? My driver's license would have been suspended, or I would have faced litigation charges and I would have had to go to court, as an example. So, what is the reason why I am talking to you about insurance? Because you're in college, You're preparing for your career. The last thing you want is to have an accident and not have adequate protection. And you don't want your parents paying for more insurance than what they should. So talk to your parents. If they have 1020, which is a bare minimum, increase it. It's probably going to cost you just an extra $10 a month, and it's well worth it. Because what's going to happen is, short term and long term, you're going to save a significant amount of money on your insurance. Now, when you get your own car and you get your own insurance, by virtue of being on your parents' policy, guess what? You're going to get credit, and you're going to have better rates as well. So I wanted to share with you this because it is so important for people to carry adequate protection in the state of Florida. Although the law does not require for you to carry bodily injury to protect third-party damages, it is important for you, the people, to understand that it is necessary for you to carry bodily injury. Because if I get into an accident with you, my family should be protected and I should be protected. And if we're not, my insurance company will pay. But you better believe that they will go after he who is at fault to recoup their losses. I don't want to scare you, but it's very important. So that's it. It's a wrap. That's Insurance 101 in Florida. And if you want to get more information about some of the things I talked about, go to insurance101.com. And remember, drive safe, don't drink and drive, and carry higher coverages if you can afford them at all times. God bless you. Good night.